Welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, I will be coloring my previous long wolf cut with an amazing, effortless sun-kissed color application. We start with zoning our sections, with a center parting, and a radial parting, from ear to ear. We also zone the back, from the occipital bone, to behind the ear, separating the nape section and the crown. I start by taking diagonal back sections. I gently back comb, approximately 3 inches away, from the root area. I am taking back-to-back slices, and applying color lightener, with 30 volume peroxide. Back combing will diffuse the color into the natural hair, preventing an obvious demarcation line. I have chosen this application, as my client has requested. She doesn't want color on her hairline, as she wears her hair up, and prefers her natural color, along her hairline. If your client was happy to see the highlights on her hairline, I would simply weave this zone, allowing for more dimension in the color. Be sure to saturate the hair with product. Use your color brush, to work the product into the hair. I have chosen to take back-to-back sections, to create mass color coverage. Depending on your chosen end color result, you could choose to use 10 volume peroxide, to create a light brown, or caramel base, instead of blonde. If your client has virgin hair, you could use high lift color, with 10 or 20 volume peroxide. I love to use combinations, to create more texture, and variation in my color work, while reducing the amount of color lightener, in my client's hair, helping to maintain beautiful healthy hair. Remember, you don't always have to use color lightener, to achieve the same or better result. Now we move to the crown zone. I split this zone into 3 clean sections. In this zone, I take my sections just over a centimeter, or half an inch apart, taking fine 7 or 5 weaves, applying color lightener, from the roots to ends, making sure the section is thoroughly saturated. I simply weave my section, elevating the section high before placing my foil, creating firm tension, from holding the section firmly, and utilizing my spare fingers. I now apply the color lightener, an inch away from the root area, working the color into the hair, all the way down to the ends. Using my spare hand as a board, to help my color brush, work the color into the hair. I finish by applying to the root area, leaving space for the color to rise in the foil. This helps to prevent the color from bleeding, and creating demarcations, in your color application. I prefer to only use a single fold, to prevent further demarcations, in my foils from folding. We continue this process, throughout this zone, taking clean sections, weaving and applying the color, from roots to ends. Once we reach the top of each section, we leave enough natural color, to mask the highlights, peeking from underneath, creating a beautiful soft sun-kissed result. It is important to always work with clean sections, and to present your work in the most professional elevated way. Our client's confidence is built on our professionalism. Let me know in the comments below, if you apply your foils like I do, or if you have another technique you prefer to use. I'd love to know how you apply your foils. This color application is perfect, for all medium to long layered haircuts, as it highlights and accentuates the longer layers, from underneath the haircut. When approaching any color application, it is very important to understand, color applications are always applied, to complement the haircut. We now move to the zones, that sit above the ear area, on both sides. I am simply doing the same technique as the nape zone, taking my sections up to the parietal ridge area. I have chosen to do this technique in this area, as the front face framing, will be the lightest section in this color application. Maintaining depth behind the front zone, will create more contrast and dimension, to our application, whilst accentuating the longer layers, that fall over the ear area. To complete this zone, above the parietal ridge and below the center part, I apply a couple of weaved foils from roots to ends, to to connect the front top zone into the back crown zone. We now move to the front zone. You can either slice or weave your foils in this zone, applying color lightener from roots to ends. We take clean fine sections back to back, working up to the parietal ridge and the hairline's recession. If your client didn't want the color on her hairline or root area, you could continue to use the back combing technique to lower the highlight, like we have above the ear and in the nape zone. We continue this process until we reach our fringe zone. We continue to weave fine small sections, foiling back to back. Once we reach the top of the fringe area, where the curvature of the head rounds, we simply start the back combing technique, to allow for mass color on the ends of the fringe, whilst blending the highlights into the natural color. We leave the front zone's color to develop for 30 to 45 minutes, whilst checking the back, to see if it has already developed. We now rinse the back waiting for the front to develop, before preparing the hair for a zonal toner application. If you like this haircut, you should check out my how to cut a long wolf cut tutorial. Link is above and also in the description below. I have chosen to apply a zonal toner application, to create more variation and dimension, in the color result. In the top zone, I section out a diamond shape. This section will be the base color. I have chosen to use a level 5 natural tone. I have purposely added some of the highlighted hair into this section, as it will color to a light brown or caramel tone, adding to the contrast of natural tones. We are working from darker into lighter as we work through each zone. You can apply your zonal pattern at the basin, or upgrade the service to a semi-permanent color application, and apply it in the chair. The longer the color stays on, the longer the color will last. We now apply our caramel color to 2 triangular sections. In the crown zone, I have chosen to apply a 7-level, natural base tone. We now apply the caramel tone, as a shadow root application, in the fringe and face framing zone. We apply the shadow root, to create depth and contrast, creating a more soft, subtle approach to this area. If you would like a more standout, obvious result, don't apply the shadow root, to this zone. In the nape section, I have chosen to use an 8-level natural base color. This tone will create a beautiful blonde tone, that subtly blends into the caramel, making the layers pop, whilst highlighting the length of the haircut. We now apply this color to the fringe and face framing, complementing all the beautiful layers and movement in the haircut. Blending all of these tones together models the color and creates an effortless, beautiful sun-kissed natural result. We now allow the color to process from 15 to 30 minutes. This is my simple, effortless, sun-kissed color application. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate every single like and comment. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. If you would like to see more color applications, let me know in the comments below.